Now I'd like to welcome our second speaker, who is Mr. Nicholas Yap, Genki Sushi's President, Overseas Division. He will share on how the popular Japanese restaurant has used technology to differentiate itself in a highly competitive market while improving productivity. Please join me in giving a warm welcome to Mr. Yap.
Good evening. My mother-in-law is a bit more advanced. She used the iPhone. Good evening, Minister of State for Trade and Industry, Mr. Teo, distinguished guests. I'm Nicholas from Genki Sushi. I'm actually working in Japan. I've been there for 5 years. I've taken this project to do the first store in Singapore using technology, which is already being used in Japan. So I'll give you a brief intro. I guess many of you have been to a Kaiten sushi before. Kaiten sushi is basically a sushi restaurant which uses a revolving conveyor belt, and the conveyor belt will go through all the seats and box, and you'll be able to pick up whatever. There's a shot of Kaiten sushi. Customers will be able to pick up anything they fancy. If they want, they also can make special orders. Final bill is always based on the plates consumed or the items consumed, and it's tabulated at the end of the day. I think this is nothing new because Singapore has quite a fair bit of Kaiten sushi. What's so new about our technology and our mode of operation is in Japan, there is a pressing problem, labor shortage. So most companies are all finding ways of improving their operations, finding ways of doing what they do best but using less labor. We started here emulating what Japan has done. Japan uses the touch panel system as the menu base. We decided to use the Apple iPad. For obvious reason, the processor is faster, it's lighter, and more durable. We call it the iMenu. And this will replace all printed menu in the store, 10 cards and other promotional menus. There's a shot of our iPad. And this is a screenshot of what you would see in our iPad menu. It will give you all the subcategories, and you'll be able to go in and order whatever you need. So it's pretty simple, and I think even my mother-in-law will be able to use this. All you got to do is just click, and the items will be consolidated and sent to the kitchen. A little bit more of that as I move along, just to give you some more look in the categories in the menu. I'm not promoting the restaurant, but it's necessary. Another very interesting point is that many a times when you dine at a restaurant, you're always wondering, how much have I actually spent? Well, with this iPad menu, no more worries. All you got to do is hit the view bill, and it will give you a summary of what you spent, service charge, tax, and also a delivery status there showing that the kitchen has already sent it out to you. So if there's a dispute, we can actually address the problem immediately. Okay, the touch panel system also incorporate 2 other functions, which I think is very important. The call for service staff. I don't know whether you experience this, but I have many a times when you go to a restaurant that's very busy. It's very difficult to get the attention of a wait staff. Most of my wait staff will just ignore it and walk away. So there's no more escape in this. The other would be the call for bill. Because basically when you call for a wait staff, you have 2, technically, number 1, you need help, you need to order something, or you want to call for the bill. The iPad already removes this. Whenever you hit the, if you look at the bottom center, service call, when you hit that, a service staff will come to you. I will move on to the other section, which will show you the flip side of this coin. Next is the billing call. When you call for bill, the staff would know particularly that you are the one calling for bill, and they will rush to you because we need to turn over the table. There's also an informative component to it, which I think is very important. Part of doing this business for us, actually, in Singapore is I think it's our corporate responsibility to teach Singaporean what real sushi is about. And the touch panel is an ideal platform for this. We actually put in a little bit of the history of Genki throughout the world. Genki is about 44 years today. And also the core ingredient, because you know you are what you eat, and you would like to know exactly what you're getting. So just a glimpse of how the information for the history of the company goes, and also this is the kind of rice that we serve at Genki Sushi. In this case, it's Koshi Higari, and we give you a history, how it was cultivated and things like that. I think all these are very important, because these days you're really not too sure what you put in your mouth. Okay, coming soon, as far as the iPad is concerned, we've decided to add more improvement to it, one of which is actually a jackpot with discount and food prices. This also helps us to increase our average spending, our average check, but also add a little bit of fun to the dining experience. And the next stage will also be customizable menu. A lot of time we get people who tell, don't want mayonnaise, don't want avocado. So we'll make it customizable, and it's more convenient for the customer. A glimpse of the jackpot from Japan. Now, on the flip side of the coin, like I mentioned earlier, the wait staff actually carries an iPod. This is to help them do several functions, and I'll explain this to you right now. We decided to call this iServe. It replaced the traditional captain's order sheet, billing sheet, and writing instrument. That already, if you notice, saves a lot of costs, printing costs and paper costs and things like that. It helps the wait staff also manage certain functions, tabulation and updating bills, reviewing existing order, cancel and voiding orders, blackout for sold out items. Previously in the past, you would have to ask the chef why it's sold out, and then you would have to inform the customer every table. Sorry, today we don't have salmon. All right, this is a screenshot of the iPod, used by the wait staff. You can see all the little apps here that has specific function for the wait staff. Updating bill, very simple. The wait staff just key in. It enters the table screen, we call it, and you are able to see exactly what they have eaten. In the past, you only could see the color plates, but the color plate could be shrimp, salmon. You do not know exactly what is eaten. I'll explain later on why this is important for us, is the items eaten. And also, the things that are out of stock, we will go into another subcategory. We will be able to block this out, and it will appear sold out on the menu. That helps save a lot of time and boost a more efficient kitchen. And the service call, we saw the button earlier when you call for service, the iPod will ring exactly like a phone, and we will be able to see which table is calling us, and we will address it. The only way that you can turn this off is when you acknowledge it, and you only acknowledge it when you are at the table. There's also a huge LCD TV, just in case for some of the older workers that can't see the iPod. There are also additional functions, more specifically for management. Real-time sales tracking. At the press of a button, we are able to see the sales exactly the time we want it. Surveillance is also another one. This is an example of how the sales tracking looks like. And surveillance is like any other surveillance camera. The other thing that we have brought over from Japan, which is actually the most important, is actually the kosoku. Kosoku in Japanese means delivery, express delivery. Kosoku train, the bullet train and all that, I'm sure you're all familiar with it. This is a glimpse of a kosoku carrier inside the kitchen, and how it looks like outside, just next to your table when it delivers the food. How does it work? How do we integrate everything?